Welcome to the lounge where the stories climb high. Dr. Rhonda's in the groove where the pages touch the sky. Sip on inspiration, let the moments unwind. Every voice a horizon, new tales intertwine. From pen to passion where the art feels divine. Authors vibing together, creativity and time. So pull up your chair, let your spirit align. Horizons off the lounge where words come alive. Welcome to Horizons off the Lounge.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I am back with a new episode of the Horizons Author Lounge. And yes, we are a little late today. It's lots of things going on. Traffic is crazy. Things are crazy in DC, but your girl is here. And as they say, better late than never. We're still going to have a poppin' show, and we're still going to give our guests the full attention that they deserve, because that's what they deserve. And that's what we do here in the Horizons Author Lounge. So I hope everybody is ready to have a good time, as we normally do, because I know I am. And we're about to get started. But I have two actually new guests on the show. I've not met them prior, but one of them, well, two of them, both of them were actually referred to me. So huge shouts out to Shamara Medina, as well as Lucky, DJ Lucky. Thank you both for referring these wonderful guests to me. That's what it's all about. I appreciate you and I love you dearly. So I'm looking forward to getting to know these ladies. And just a couple of announcements. Next week, May 11th, will be the last show in the month of May. Then your girl is going on vacation. I know you don't hear that word come out of my mouth very much, because Rhonda, for some reason, doesn't seem to rest, but I'm resting. So I am going on vacation next week. So May 11th will be the last episode of the Horizons Author Lounge for the month of May. And then I will be back in June. In June, we will be highlighting some of the authors who will be a part of the Black Ink Festival in New Orleans. I was supposed to go this year, but I'm not going to be able to make it this year. However, I will be teaching a virtual AI masterclass that you guys have got to be a part of, because it's going to be freaking amazing. If you have ever wondered how you can incorporate AI into your processes so you can become more visible, so you can get more done, be more productive, this is the workshop that you need to be a part of. So more information, just stay on the lookout, because we will be posting that link and dropping that promo very soon. And I want you guys to be a part of that. So that's going to be in conjunction with the Black Ink Festival. And I'll also be highlighting some of the authors who are going to be a part of the Black Ink Festival. So that's going to be in June. And then in July, we're only going to be doing a couple of shows in July, because we have quite a few things happening in July. Your girl is heading to Atlanta. I will be, once again, part of the National Book Club Conference, and I can't wait for that. Last year, I cannot believe, as long as I've been an author, last year was my first time participating in that event, and it was amazing. I loved it. I loved meeting the book clubs. I love talking to readers. That is a totally different vibe than what you see at a lot of events, book events. Totally different vibe, and I was here for it. So you'll be hearing more about that along the way. So this is gonna be still a very busy summer. As they say, a long, hot summer. But stay tuned, because there'll be lots of ways that you can participate. And if you have been a regular client of Meet the World Image Solutions, I will be sending you guys a very special invitation very soon for a very exclusive event that I'm doing it'll be a virtual event, and it'll be just for Meet the World friends and clients. So stay on the lookout for that, because that's coming very soon as well. Now, without any further ado, I am ready to introduce you to my very first guest. Her name is Shayla Swan. She is a children's book author. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. And she's going to be telling us all about the heart behind her book, what inspired her. But first, before she does any of that, I would love for her to just introduce herself to all of you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shayla Swan. I am a children's book author. I wrote my first book about my son, so that is my inspiration. I'll get more into that. I'm also a pre-K teacher here in Atlanta, Georgia. I have been teaching in early childhood education for about 20 years.
Wow.
I have my bachelor's and master's degree in early childhood education, and I have an education specialist degree in psychometry, and I'm working on my doctoral degree in early childhood education.
Oh, that is wonderful. You have a lot going on, man.
Yes, I do.
I love it. I'm all here for it. So,
Hmm.
now I was going to ask you why you chose to write children's books, but it's already a huge part of what you do.
Yes, it is. It's a huge part of what I do. And again, the inspiration behind writing my very first children's book was my son. But also, I am a pre-K teacher in a inclusion class. This is like my third year. I'm the general ed teacher, but we have typical students, we have atypical students, we have a mixture. So again, it's inclusion. And this is my son, Brooklyn. Brooklyn, say hi. Um, it's an inclusion classroom, so that's also kind of it ties into my story and just want to bring about like awareness, representation, and inclusion.
Oh, and I was just going to ask you, can you talk a little bit more about what's involved in an inclusion class? Because it just seems like that would be something that we should be doing anyway as
Yes.
educators. But this sounds like something that's kind of a specific medium.
Yeah, it's a specific model. So within in inclusion pre-K, so we have general ed pre-K and we have inclusion pre-K. So I'm the general education teacher, and then I have a co-lead who's a special education teacher, and we have a professional. So my co-lead, she basically has like she can have up to 6 students on her caseload, students who have IEPs or 504s or different type of things that are implemented for their where they're working on their personal or IEP goals. However, those students are still able to function in a general setting, so they can still keep up with our typical students. Like they still get the same curriculum. They still are able to go to like the extracurricular activities, the specials, and all of those different type of things. Whereas they may be on the spectrum, some may be nonverbal. We do have some children who have Down syndrome, autism, of those type of things, but they can still function in what's considered a typical setting, but we're
Right.
just one model. However, when it's time for those students to work on their individualized goals, that's when the co-lead, she pulls them, they have one-on-ones, and she works with them. And then they also get outside services like the speech, the OT, the PT, or whatever it is that their IEPs say. But they still get the whole group model of just a general education classroom as well. So it's an inclusive environment, but it's also good for the general education students to see students who have different abilities, or and I like to say different abilities,
Mhm.
not so much
Yeah.
disabilities, but
I like
because
that different abilities because just because it may not be what I have or what somebody else has doesn't
right.
mean that they don't have ability.
Right, right. So they get to see, because we have babies that who are nonverbal who use an assistive technology device to speak, to communicate, and they get to see that, and they're exposed at a young age. Trumpty Dumpty, they're exposed at a young age because they're 4 and 5 year olds. But I teach them like everybody in the world is different. We all have something special, something different about us. But it
Right.
just teaches them. It opens their minds up to not just awareness but acceptance, and that's a lot of what I'm going to talk about today with the book that I wrote.
Okay, and so that's a good transition into the book. Is the subject matter of the book related to your specific specialty in inclusion?
Somewhat yes, but it's a personal story because it's about my son. But it is related to just what I advocate for him and for all students who have special needs or different abilities. And I've been working with young children. I love early childhood education. That's my major. And like I said, I've been in education for 20 years, even before I became a mom. Um, and I've just always, because with early childhood, you just have this is where we lay the foundation, like we're building, we're molding. And children, they're like sponges. So at that age, you can just their minds, their hearts are open to, and so that's why I love this particular age group or just early childhood, because you have a chance to like really instill like those core values, and just build help them to build a foundation, a solid foundation.
Absolutely. So show us the book.
Okay. All right. So here's the book. The title of my book is Brooklyn Braveheart, the Unique Kid. Brooklyn is my son, y'all. I'm sure you can see and or hear him in the
He's
background.
very
He's,
active.
he's 10 years old. The unique kid. So he is a very unique kid, but unique is actually his middle name. So it kind of played into the title. But Brooklyn does have several different things, different abilities about him that make him unique. And as you see on the front cover, he looks like he is a superhero. And try to be intentional with everything. So with the colors that he's wearing, how he's dressed, his backpack. So Brooklyn, my son, was born with this rare birth condition called esophageal atresia tracheoesophageal fistula.
Oh my goodness,
Um,
it's a mouthful.
yes, it is.
How long did it take you to even be able to say that when they
Well,
told
I had to practice. It took me some time. I had to practice. I also had to study and research the condition because it's something I had never heard of
right?
before at all. So, but basically, he was born without an esophagus.
Oh God.
So basically, with this condition, his esophagus stopped in what was called like a blind pouch, and the other part of it was connected to his trachea. So at birth, like he wasn't able to like take a bottle. They weren't able to feed him. So when he was 1 day old, he had to go into. They had to. We're here in Georgia, so we were at Children's Healthcare of the Land where they transferred him to the NICU. He had to have emergency surgery where they put a feeding tube inside of his belly to feed him. But then they also had to disconnect the part of the trachea. I mean, the part of the esophagus that was connected to the trachea, because even if he was getting the feeding, it was going to come up and go into his trachea, and that was going to cause aspiration. So that was
Right.
the first surgery when he was like 2 days old.
Mm.
He was also a preemie, so he had multiple anomalies. So with this rare condition, he also had what's called Bacterial syndrome. And it's like an acronym for different parts. So he had to, what I just said, the esophageal atresia, tracheoesophageal fistula. Now the short is EATEF. So if you Google it or anything, you put in EATEF. So he had the EATEF. He's missing a left thumb and the left radius bone. He has right vocal cord paralysis. Um, he was IUGR, meaning like he was intrauterine growth restriction. He was a preemie, but he was smaller than the average preemie. He
Right.
had like two small holes in his heart. He had multiple anomalies, had to go through multiple surgeries. He also had what's called tracheomalacia, which was as a result of the EATEF. His trachea would collapse and close. So, like I stated, I had to do a lot of research, reading. I joined like groups on Facebook where I actually found a doctor. So Boston Children's Hospital, they have a hub for children who are born with EATEF, because Brooklyn was a very rare, difficult case where he would have like what's called dying spells. So with the tracheomalacia, his trachea would just shut off completely and he would die.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
so when he was about 4 months, he had they repaired his esophagus. So basically, Brooklyn has a man-made esophagus. They take the two parts of the esophagus that were disconnected, they sew them together. Um, but because he was still having respiratory issues and he couldn't breathe on his own, he was still in the NICU. So about 4 months, that's when like I said, I was constantly doing my research. So I found the doctor in Boston, Dr. Rusty Jennings. He's the doctor who created this surgery, where he basically attached the back of his trachea to his spine. That's what saved his life. When we went to Boston, That's the doctor that saved his life. But it's a lifelong condition. So Brooklyn still did. He never learned to suck a bottle. Never learned to eat by mouth. So he still has a feeding tube, a feeding backpack. So on the cover, you see this. This is his, just the illustration of his feeding tube. So he doesn't eat by mouth. Um, and then when Brooklyn was 4 years old, he was also diagnosed with autism. So he's an autistic, medically fragile child. So that is what this book is about. But the book depicts him as a superhero, just navigating through daily life in school, and all of his different abilities or anomalies, whichever way you want to see it. I highlighted them to be his superpowers. And so the book, he just is him going through school with his best friend. His best friend in the book, her name is Zuri, but this also, these are like real life, it's real life inspiration, Jack.
Yeah.
So there's a little girl who I taught in kindergarten, and she's the same age as Brooklyn, and I just kind of took to her because she had kind of like she lost her dad at a young age, and she was just like her mom was young, and just I don't know, I just kind of like took to her. So I always still go get her, and she's like Brooklyn's real life best friend. So in the story, because she kind of helps him navigate through school, but she also understands his condition, so she helps with his feeding. She understands, like, she really truly interacts with him, even though he is autistic. So like I said, these it's real life events in a realistic type of fiction way.
Well,
Um,
before we move on, I just want to commend you because this is a lot for any parent to be able to handle, and the fact that you are able to show this much tenacity and this much patience, and you still show up with a smile, I think it's beautiful. And I just want to commend I just want to commend you for how you're able to show up and to be an encouragement to other parents who may be going through something similar. And there's some who may be going through not even half of what you and Brooklyn are going through, and you're able to do it. And
right.
so I just want to make sure that I gave you your flowers before we move on.
I appreciate it. I definitely can't say it was easy.
Of
I know a
course.
lot of people say, "Well, I don't see how you do it," but even when he was a baby, like I said, I was clueless. I was like, Lord, what am I gonna do? I have this child, because they told me you're gonna have to take him home with his feeding tube. I had to learn CPR. I had to learn all of these things, like, but be so alert, so aware to the point, because Brooklyn, he had to come home on oxygen, a heart monitor, a pulse ox monitor. My major was education, but I tell anybody, I had a crash course in medical school and
Right,
nursing
right.
school, because when I brought him home, and for the first 2, 3 years, we were in and out of the hospital. I mean, I was telling someone earlier, like, this is the first year. Brooklyn is 10 years old. That's another significance. I released this on his 10th birthday, which was October 1st. This is when I released the book, because at birth, I remember specifically, I asked the doctor after she came in and explained all of these things that were going on. I was like, well, is he going to survive? And she specifically said, we don't know. And if he does, he has a long road ahead of him. And um, it was it was very traumatic, but I just knew that I couldn't give up. So, like,
That was 10 years ago, and he's still
yeah.
going.
Yeah, so, and it's like I would just go to that NICU every day. I would just go. The nurses, I tell anybody, the nurses, they taught me how to take care of him, how to just they taught me how to, I guess, be the medically fragile or special needs mom. But all I know is I'm a mom. I didn't do anything special. I just know I'm a mom, and I just was like, I just wanted the best for my son. I just kept going,
Yeah,
and I didn't want to lose my baby, so I just did what I had to.
I,
Um,
I get it. I totally get it. And and like I said, I think you're doing great. And the fact that you considered writing a children's book to celebrate his strengths.
yes, because he is definitely my hero, my superhero. And I had this idea, like, especially after he was diagnosed with autism, the idea came in mind, because I was like, he's already from birth, he's already like faced so many challenges and overcome. Like, I was just like amazed at how resilient he was, just as a baby. The doctors was even saying, like, you got an amazing kid. Like, the things that he went through, like the last surgery that he did have in Boston, it was 13 hours, and I mean, we almost lost him. The surgery, actually, he almost died from it, and he made like a turnaround within a week. So,
Wow.
he's definitely a miracle. So,
That is
I've
good.
always had this idea, and in my head he's always just been a superhero. um and so when people, like when we are out or when he goes to school, he's been at the same school since kindergarten, and all the kids, the teachers, they know him, they love him. He's like the only kid with the feeding backpack, but they all, I've just watched over the years how they help him out, how when we see him, like I can see them out in public somewhere, they're like, hey, there's Brooklyn. So I knew that he's inspiring, so I just wanted to be able to just share him, I guess, with the world. So just trying to get his story out there.
I get it. Now, I did want to ask you, why did you choose to spell unique the way you did with the E?
So actually, that's his dad's real name.
Oh,
So in Brooklyn, so his dad is from Brooklyn. So his dad is from Brooklyn, and his dad's real name is Unique, and it kind of just went together. So because his dad was like, "Well, I don't want his first name to be Unique," because he was saying how he got teased in school, and I was like, "Well." He didn't want him to be a junior, and I actually like the name Brooklyn. I was like, "Well, you're from Brooklyn," but it kind of all just worked out. So that's why it's spelled with an E. But yes, his middle name is actually Unique, and his first name is Brooklyn.
okay. Well, that's so cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a celebration all the way around.
Yes. Um, so yeah. And then like I said, in the story, he kind of just goes about his day. Like, so basically he's in the classroom and they have, the setting is like they're in the class and they have like show and tell superhero day. And all the kids are like excited, superheroes. And then so when it's Brooklyn's turn, because the kids want to know, well, why doesn't he eat like we do, or why does he have like these inhalers, or why does he have, he always has his like fidget noodle toy that he stims with, or and his assistive technology device that he also uses to talk sometimes. So they're like wondering, like asking all of these questions. And that's when also his friend Zuri, she steps in, kind of helps him to explain, because sometimes he's kind of nervous, shy, he can't really explain, or he can't communicate in the way that the other children can. And then so when Brooklyn gets a turn to get up and talk, he shows them like his inhalers and his feeding backpack and his assistive technology device. And then he shows them his hand, because his left hand, he is missing a thumb. And it's so funny because I've been to schools and I've done read alouds and different things. And sometimes I'll have him with me. And that's the first thing the kids want to see. They're like, can we see his hand? Is he missing? Missing a thumb for real? Because in the story he says, this is my superhero superpower hand, and like on this t-shirt, because I got t-shirts, it's like 4 fingers to show. Like I was like, yeah, that's actually real. um but just highlighting it, not making it so awkward, but more so as, because like little kids are,
Right.
they're like, oh my god, I wish you, they're like, he uses a backpack to eat, they want to see. So, and not so much just to make him a show, but just to make him aware. And then that makes them more comfortable and more accepting. And they are aware, like, okay, wow, not all kids eat by mouth, not all people. This is something I didn't even know.
Right.
But he still is thriving. He's still getting the nutrients, nutrition that he needs. He's still a growing boy. And so,
I think that's great that you highlight the differences because then he's not ashamed of them. He's not trying to hide them, and then
right,
it's not embarrassing.
right, right. Because when he was younger, and even now, like, sometimes, and I don't mind educating. I know, because sometimes we just don't, people, not staring like to be rude, but sometimes, they've never seen like a child with feeding tube, or I may hook him up or something, and they're like, what's that? And all of a sudden, and that's when I go into just telling them how he was born, and I don't mind educating at all. So that's why. And now it's like with the book, it's even easier, because I have like my cards or bookmarks. I'm like, here, if you want to find out more about him. But it just, for me, I love the word like awareness, and even with autism, because April was Autism Awareness Month, and Brooklyn
Yes.
is level 2 autism. He has level 2 autism. So he can't always communicate his wants and needs. And that's another challenge within itself, because he's autistic, but he's medically fragile. So it's like, I have to know my kid to know, like, when there's something going on or know his triggers if there's certain things that he can't communicate. But of course I've learned him, but he's in therapies and different things where he's learning to be more social and independent. I've had him in speech, OT, ABA since baby. Like for me, I think that part of me being an educator, and I never sat in denial because I know as an educator and as parents, I see it both sides, and I get to see it now a lot as an educator. You know, when you some parents, they, especially when we're talking about autism, it is a hard pill to swallow. But
Yeah,
I tell people, denial is the worst place to be in when you're talking about getting the help and the assistance you need for your child. You want the best for your child, or you want your child to thrive and be a part, because he's going to be in this world even with his differences. But that's why we talk about not just awareness but acceptance. So I'm big on acceptance because we're not all the same. We are all unique.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Wow. So I hope that you are reaching out to some of your local autism awareness groups in your area,
mm-hmm.
and maybe partnering with some of them, because this is a very important story and message to spread.
Which yes, I have been. I've reached out even to the hospitals that, because
Yeah.
here he was diagnosed through the Marcus Autism Center. I've reached out. I've done some. I did a lot of events. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi, my hometown. So I actually
I
went
thought
on
I
many.
felt a little bit. I know you said Georgia, but I'm like, I feel a little deeper south going on.
Some deep south going on.
I'm from Louisiana, so I detect.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you right down the road. So yeah, I did a mini book tour in my hometown. Just recently, we were on like this morning show, live news morning show. We did a radio interview. I visited some of the old schools where I was a product of the Jackson Public School System. I visited like 4 schools. We did the Mississippi Children's Museum. I have some other events, and my alma mater, the Jackson State University. I went there. And I'm partnering with them. I have some events with them later in the year too. So,
You're doing your thing. You are spreading the word. I love it.
yeah, I'm trying to get out there.
I love
Here
to
in
see
Atlanta,
it.
and I've been doing things here in Atlanta too. And I have an event coming up with my school system May 16th. The Office of Early Learning, the Pre-K office, we're putting on this Pre-K Family Fun Festival. So I will be a vendor there, and I have this summer book festival event that I'm doing. And I'm just working, trying to get as much exposure, I guess, as possible. Just trying to get us out there.
Well, can keep doing your thing. That's the way to do it. Keep reaching out to these organizations, because they need books. And what your book does is it actually illustrates a lot of what they are trying to a lot of what they're trying to spread. And so
Yes.
you can illustrate the message. It just makes it easier to tell the story.
Right. And it's I wanted to do it in a kid friendly way, because with my son's condition, that's it's a lot to digest. It's not something you
Yeah.
hear of or understand. But even I've had adults to read it and just tell me like, oh wow, like my son gets like therapists and his home nurses, like they didn't even know like the nature of the condition, but the book kind of just breaks it down in a children's friendly way. I have like this glossary in the back, but it's like in a kid friendly way of like all of his superpower gadgets. But
Right.
it explains it so even as an adult, um, they understand. And I've read it like I over live stream at my school during like read aloud, and the kids they'll come up to them and was like, "Oh my God, Miss Swan, we love your book," and they want to see my son and everything. But so I definitely wanted to. It's a children's audience, but I tell it's for everybody.
Well, congratulations on a wonderful book. I'm really, really happy for you. And I hope you continue to spread the word. I would love to see you as part of the Black History Month Literary Weekend one year.
Yes, me too. I hope so. We're praying. We're gonna keep pushing. We get there.
All right, all right. I'll be spreading the word about it very soon. So hopefully
I
you'll be one of the
appreciate it.
authors. Yeah.
And I heard you say you were coming to Atlanta this summer.
Yes, I'll be part of the National Book Club Conference.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's something like we said. We're moving forward, so we're looking into all of those things. Whatever's out there is available. I want God to still lead me because, like I said, this story is the inspiration was strictly from my son. And after living through that, I feel like I have to share it. I just feel like it's my duty.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Sometimes our testimonies are for other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gobble
So
gobble. Tell them hi. Say hey. Hi. Look,
hi.
say hi. Hi.
Hi.
Gobble gobble. Gobble gobble.
Okay, well, remind everybody where they can find your book and how they can reach you.
Okay, so you can buy my book on Amazon.com and or BarnesandNobles.com. You can reach me at Brooklyn Braveheart Series at gmail.com. And we have an Instagram. It's Brooklyn Braveheart. It's just at Brooklyn Braveheart. And my Facebook page is Shayla Swan. It's under my name. And message me, DM me, or by phone number because I have my phone number 404-931-2950.
Well, there you go. Now you have all the information. And if you can't remember anything, then click her link tree.
Yes, I have a link tree. It has all the info.
Yes, it's right here in the chat. So you have no excuse to reach out to this beautiful young lady with this beautiful story.
Thank you so much.
And thank you. You have a wonderful evening. It was a pleasure meeting you and a pleasure interviewing you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really enjoyed this interview. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope to see you again. Don't be a stranger.
I will not at all.
All right. You take
All
care.
right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Okay. So that wasn't a great interview, guys? Oh man, I really love meeting new authors and just what she's doing to empower her son and empower other children who are going through similar issues, and then the parents, just being that example to parents, because sometimes we put so much attention on the child and what the child is going through. And I love how she called it different abilities, not disabilities. And we put so much attention on the child with the different abilities that we forget about the parents who are taking care of these children. So I just thought this was a beautiful interview. Please go out and support this author, support this book. And if you are going through similar struggles with maybe your own loved one who might be going through autism or other different abilities, then reach out to her and share your story with her. And then you never know, maybe you could write your book, or you can share your story. Maybe you can do a speaker's platform, whatever it is. But whatever path you decide, if you need some help, Meet the World Image Solutions is right here to assist you and support you in whatever it is that you choose, whether it's writing a book, starting a speaker platform, maybe writing some poetry, or maybe journaling, or what have you. We are here to support you. So if you're not sure where you want to go or how you want to pursue, then reach out to us. You can message me on any platform. I'm on just about all of them, including Pinterest now. But reach out to us and schedule a discovery call, and we can sit down and figure out the path that's best for you. I'm not going to tell you the best path. I'm going to say the one that's best for you, the one that is best for your lifestyle, for your message, for your particular medium. That's what I want to do for you. So that's all we seem to have tonight. Our second guest um, is not able to make it, unfortunately, probably because we had to start a little bit late, but it is okay. We will get her rescheduled at a different time. But in the meantime, in the between time, don't forget that on May 11th, which is next week, will be our last show for the month of May, and then we will be going on vacation. Now we will be doing some encore presentations of the show for the rest of the month. So um, it might be one of your favorite episodes. We're going to look at some of our favorite episodes, and then we're going to replay those for the rest of the month. And then I'll be right back with you live in June. And don't forget, we will be highlighting some of the authors from the Black Ink Festival that will be taking place in New Orleans. So stay tuned because there are great things happening all throughout the summer, and I want you guys to be a huge part of it. If you have any questions about me, you have any questions about Meet the World Image Solutions, feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to chat with you. But in the meantime, I will see you guys tomorrow on Black Authors Matter TV, and then I'll see you right back here May 11th for the final live episode for the month of May. So that's all we have tonight. May God bless you. I want you to keep writing, keep spreading the message, and keep voting. There's a lot of crazy things happening in the world. Make sure you're voting. That's all I'm gonna say about that for right now, because I can get on my soapbox. So that's all I have for tonight, guys. You have a wonderful evening. God bless you. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, Black Authors Matter TV, and then right back here next week. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. Thank you.